Hello again, Graphcom. Mr. Young here, just looking at this time of a one-point perspective dungeon. I've been looking at these recently online and trying to see if I can do my own version of it. I'll set it up first of all though as a sort of basic room, and then I'll add all my details into it. So the start is the same as you've seen in any of the other kind of videos of interior spaces in one-point perspective. I think I changed my mind here and just move that down slightly to get the back of the dungeon in place there to begin with. The next stage to add after this is a cross in the middle, just to find my kind of vanishing point where everything's going to go back here. So I'm just doing a cross inside the box here. If you've watched a previous video on like how to set up a perspective interior space, and you'll see this. I'm continuing the lines outside the box as well, just to get the different parts of the room. So the top triangle there will be your ceiling, the left and right side will be your walls, and the bottom bit here will be your floor. And what I'm doing next is I'm drawing a centre line up from that vanishing point. The idea next is I'm going to create an archway. I'll try to be a bit more fancy. What you can't see next is, since this page is just off the bottom of the camera, I've just measured in from the bottom left and right hand side about 25mm and drew a line straight up. Just so you can see there at the bottom. I should have shifted the page up. I'll get there eventually. And from there, I'm just drawing a kind of curve. I'm freehanding this, so I'll need a little bit of work when I kind of go back into it. I'm just sort of measuring out. I think I measured out about 80mm just to get the same curve at the other side there. So this archway will be kind of even on both sides. And you can see that. It's kind of there. Again, you'll do this and you might need to do a little bit of work on it. You can see that's still not kind of curving out, and I always seem to have this trouble of going over the same line rather than just bringing that line out. There it is, a wee bit better. This will be more of a rustic archway anyway, so with stone blocks, so it will not look so bad once it's all added in. So from there, I'm drawing from the kind of curve to the outside of the page, I'm just drawing horizontal lines just to say where all the stone blocks are. And then I'm going to draw just where that horizontal line meets the curve. I'm just drawing back to the vanishing point there, just to get the stone blocks in place. And you'll maybe see it a wee bit better once I've darkened it in slightly, so you can start to see them there, and I can curve up, and that will be the start of my kind of archway. And giving it a kind of, I'm trying to give it make it even on both sides so that it's it looks kind of uniform on both sides. It looks as if it's a sort of even archway, and this just continues up. I'm going to cheat in a minute here. Once I've got this archway up, I'm going to cheat at the sides here. I know that the stone blocks will be getting kind of wider and wider as you get to the top bit. The top bit there, it's a kind of keystone bit going in there. So I'm not drawing them all the way out to the edge here. I'm going to stick something in the foreground here just to, so it doesn't look as if these blocks near the top of the curve here look massive. I'm guesstimating this just now. It's just a best guess where I'm going to put these blocks. I'm not putting them, not measuring anything. I'm just kind of having a look at it. So you can see these are the rest of the blocks going in. I'll finish this bit off and then we'll see what I do at the edges here. That's that kind of archway finished there. I'm going to just tidy this up. I'm putting like crumbling stone down the bottom there just to show a bit of it's kind of fallen off and there's a wee bit exposed. You'll see this when I move it up. Here's what I'm doing next here. Instead of having the big massive blocks, I'm going to cover this up slightly with some sort of weeds or some sort of vine that's grown out from the bottom. This is an old dungeon. It can also be like a castle inside of a castle that's kind of crumbling. But I'm just kind of freehanding this again, just putting a wee bit of detail in just to kind of, I don't know, just to make it a little bit more realistic. And you can see now I'm kind of making these a bit more rustic looking, also known as being unable to draw a straight line. Just being able to kind of freehand these things in. At the top of the arch doesn't look the best, but I'm going to go with it just as it is. So it's second arch time here. I'm just drawing a horizontal line, drawn up. I'm just going to measure in slightly for matching where my second arch is going to go. So if you didn't quite see it in the foreground, you'll see it a wee bit better here. Again, I'll be needing a little bit of work going on here for getting the arch to look like a decent kind of shape. It doesn't always have to be like a curved circular. It could be, you could go up in straight lines and make it more kind of like a hexagonal top or something. It's your own kind of design idea anyway, so it's meant to be kind of designed for your own kind of purpose, whatever you want. You can see there the curve's going in. And I'll continue this on so that you can get the idea of it. But it's the same process as the foreground. Right, it's almost finished that arch now, so next will be, I'm going to do a wee passageway coming off the side there, coming off to the left I should say actually. So I'm just going to section this up here. I'm going to do it right next to that arch, so looks like this stone arch kind of digs into the wall there, doesn't it? I'm making a wee mark here to see where this passageway goes in. I'm just going to draw a horizontal line at the bottom to show that it's a wee path or a passageway. And back in there, and then that wall there will continue to the we'll go back to the kind of vanishing point there. I've done it at the top of where the top where the ceiling is anyway. And you can see here I'm still editing this as you go. You'll find that you need to kind of curve that back in a wee bit and edit these things a bit more. So there we are. I've got a passageway going off there. And then I'm going to add in a door at the bottom, so maybe a monster lives there, and a door at the other side. And you can add in as many doors or windows as you want, or windows. If it's in a dungeon, you might have a shaft of light coming in from the top or something. But other things I'm going to do here as well, just before I speed this on again, is block work. I'm going to try and do my brickwork so it looks as if it's big heavy stone. I've already added these kind of in for the archways. I want to have this looking as if it's quite a heavy kind of chunky stone coming out. So I've come out slightly and I'm just kind of sectioning that up. So it's still brickwork, so I'm still, every other one I'm missing there, just to kind of give that the impression that, you know, it's more of a kind of heavy sort of stone that's sitting on top of each other. It's maybe crumbling a bit. The image at the end I've added colour to when you get right to the end of this, and you can see, you know, I've added in an extra few details, because as always with 1 point or 2 point perspective as well, is it's the details that kind of sell it. And there's my door at the bottom going in. It'd be good if that was like even side of the vanishing point, but there you go. Never do much right in these things here. And just adding in a wee kind of door. Maybe it's got a wee cell or something. So there you are. I'll just zoom this on and you can see a wee bit more of the detail. So next here on the right hand side, I'm putting in a doorway. I've got that hidden behind the archway, which is convenient. That's quite good. It's good that you can hide things or get away with like concealing things, or you just give the impression that something's there. I'm going to give a thickness to this doorway and a kind of area for the back of the wall to show where the back of the wall is. And at the other side, more brickwork. I'm just leaving this a blank wall here. I could have stuck in another door, but I decided just to do some brickwork here. And again, just bringing it back from the vanishing point and then deciding exactly where the kind of bricks are positioned. Remember, bricks don't go up in a single kind of uniform line. They're kind of overlapping each other in each row, so you have to kind of account for that. And a lot of this is hidden behind the archway, so I can give the impression that they're all there. And then again, I'll bring this out. This is a tricky bit. It's just bringing it out slightly just to show that it's like big stone kind of blocks. And I'll need to do the same where the doorway is. And it'll be good if I can overhang that slightly, from the brickwork over the doorway, to show that there's like a thickness to these stone blocks. Back to our open room now, and again this time I'm just adding in, so it's really roughly done actually. I should have spent a wee bit more time on it. Putting in a wee kind of chest, or like I say, you know, in these dungeons you get rooms where there's a monster in each room and there's a loot, or you know, you can get gold or something. So this is a wee chest. It might have shown that there's a wee bit of money or something in there. I'll use a wee bit of yellow pencil later to colour in the inside to see if there's any loot there. Yeah, so that's that kind of almost finished off. What I want to do is give her an impression that there's a monster in there still. So it's kind of, I think you might see me drawing little ovals towards the door. I was trying to get like tentacles of a monster coming out and putting in a shadow at the bottom. Over on the other side now, I'm going to add in what looks like a couple of lanterns or lamps or something, flames coming out of it. I'm just sketching these in. These were just off the top of my head, just like a wee circle on against the wall and then just a line coming out diagonally. I'm not really putting this back to the vanishing point. I'm using my artistic license at this point to kind of just judge. I could have done this all fancy and done the constructed circle, but I thought I'll just freehand this, see how it looks. Didn't work out too badly in the end. You can see that I'm just kind of putting in like a kind of triangular shape there at the bottom. So monster time over on the other side there. I'm trying to draw it like maybe something. I should maybe done it more like claws instead of like tentacles sort of sticking out there. Maybe try to come out the door, and I could have maybe stuck something just at the corner at the top just to show maybe spikes or something coming out. But I wanted to show that there was something down here. And there you go. I'm kind of penciling. I wonder where the shadow would come out like that. I'll show the finished article just now, and here you go. You can see some of the details like light and shadow I've tried to add in to make this look a bit dingy, and also with highlighting the light coming in as well. Put red dots down the bottom to show a monster behind it, maybe the red glowing eyes, but they're too far apart, and you can see the ceiling's kind of coming in, so this place is kind of crumbling. But have a go yourself, see what you get on, and you can always post back your results. But as always, thanks for watching, and stay safe.